Welcome back to Chains of Change. It's a little space where we're trying to show that if everybody does a little bit, we can make a difference, and we don't feel isolated in our own little tribulations and trials to achieve that. So I've had a wonderful response from the first episode, which was lovely. Lots and lots of people writing and saying the little things that they're doing and in their own little way contributing towards a much larger change, which is lovely, and the whole purpose of this. The sharing of the videos is going well. Everybody seems to be participating and taking it on board. Lots and lots of people have explained they've been planting trees and saplings and getting out and about and doing these things, which is absolutely wonderful. Keep it up. I've had lots and lots of suggestions of different things to topics that people are passionate about, and I'm going to try and go through a couple of them on each episode. The first one today, I think, is microplastics. People have been talking about plastics being in everything and how they're just getting into all of the different systems of the world. They're in the seas and they're in the food and they're in everything. It's a worrying thing. So what I want to look at is ways that we can limit the amount that we actually put out there. So there's one or two ideas that I've sort of got that I'd like to share, and things that I'm going to try and do myself. So the first one being, when we wash the clothes in the washing machine, tiny little particles of those clothes go into the system. Now, even like here, it's off-grid, it's not connected to mains or sewers or anything, it still gets into a system because that liquid has to go somewhere. And so what I'm looking at today is choices we can make when we get dressed in the morning. We can choose whether to put on something which is a man-made fibre, which will produce those things when we wash them, or a natural fibre, so a wool or a cotton or something that doesn't have plastic in it, basically. If we choose to wear natural clothes one day a week out of 7, that's a 1/7 of the amount of plastic that we would have put into the system. And of course, again, if everybody in the country does this, that's literally tons of plastic which is saved every single day. Other ways of looking at not producing plastic and putting it out there that I've come across are when I sat down to have a cup of tea. I thought that I would explore the possibilities with that and what that involves. One more point with clothes is when we wash them, we hang them out to dry. How do we hang them out to dry? Well, there's a few different traditional ways of hanging them up. Most of us don't hang them on hawthorn bushes anymore, so we peg them on a line or whatever. And we have choices of how we peg them. This is one peg which, as you can see, is broken because it's brittle. It's made of plastic. It doesn't last very long. And of course that is now unrecyclable and just another pollutant. I tried over the years to get wooden pegs, the same thing, with the metal spring the same, and I've had varying degrees of success. They are available, you've got to hunt them out, but of course when these decompose, it's a natural product. The metal can be recycled, the wood just becomes feed for something else. Now I also have an earlier system which contains no metal, which are these rather sweet little dolly pegs, and they work quite well for a reasonable range of clothes, but not for the really big chunky stuff. For those, I resort to homemade pegs, which of course have got a piece of recycled tin can and a piece of wood. They're about the best I can find, but if we just change, next time we purchase our pegs, we change them to the next most friendly system, then again we'll all be making a big improvement. Let's get rid of this waste. Now back to that cup of tea. Now to have a cup of tea, we first need to boil some water. So there's many different ways of boiling water. You can use the stove, which is heated from wood, which are cut from the land, which again is a sort of 0 miles negative impact system, because the wood that's burnt is wood that's grown here. The next way is with a gas ring, which is fine. It works well, thank you, Peggy. There's so that's another way. There's an electric kettle. There's lots of different things you can do, but mostly I like to use natural materials where possible. One of the other things that we see lots and lots of on the beach and in landfills and things like that is these throwaway plastic lighters. Now they work for a short period of time, and then there's nothing that can be done with them. They become landfill or just pollute the environment and get into the sea, and they float, of course, so they go a long way. There's a few alternatives. We've got old-fashioned liquid-filled lighters, which work very well. Most of the components are natural, but the easiest solution we've got for most people is the Humble Match. It's made from timber which is grown purely for making matches. It has a cardboard box, and there's nothing to throw away, because once you've finished with the match that's lit, it becomes part of the fuel that's gone. Also, the box could do the same or be composted. On plastics again, making the tea, we have a couple of things which we'd like to sort of discuss. These have been the topic of conversation quite a lot recently, because they're actually got a plastic mesh that they're sort of involved with, and I've seen this without realising it on the compost heap, when you see like a leaf skeleton, but it's a tea bag. So they contain plastics. So what do we do instead? Well, we can have the loose tea, which can go in a teapot and all of those sort of things, which can be a bit cumbersome if you're only making a tea for one. I've got this little tea making spoon, which I don't know whether you can still get them now. I hope you can. But basically you just put the leaves in here and put it in your cup and do it that way instead of a teapot. Now, of course, there's various other solutions. I've got one of my favourites is just taking the natural plant, a nettle, put it in a cup and boil water on it, or a piece of ginger root or something similar, slice that up, put that in a cup, boiling water, no waste, no rubbish, no plastic, perfect. Well, thank you for listening to my ramblings today, and I hope there's something useful that you can take from it. Perhaps you would like to leave some comments below and let me know what you think of these ideas, and if you have further suggestions for them that we can add to this. And if you could like and share, that would be really good. Thank you very much. See you soon.